I am headed to southern Missouri to the Ozark National Scenic Riverways. These riverways were established in 1964 to conserve the unique cultural and natural resources of the Current and Jacks Fork rivers. The impressive karst landscape of the riverway supports an amazing spring system unparalleled in North America. Many of these springs individually flow millions of gallons of water daily. On this trip, I'll be paddling approximately 90 miles on the Current River from Baptist Camp to Big Springs. I'll be traveling solo in my Swift Prospector 15. This will be a journey of solitude, a chance to disconnect from the world and reconnect with myself. I'll be relying on my skills, my equipment, and the power of the river to guide me. Let's embark on this adventure together and discover the beauty of the Current River. It is good to be back out on the river. Just put in at Baptist Camp here on the Current River. The plan is to paddle, it's about 90 miles down to Big Springs. So today is going to be a true adventure. I've got a lot of mixed information on this upper section of the river from Baptist Camp down, all the way from you'll be fine to certain death, let's just say. Nah, some people were kind of telling me I probably shouldn't paddle this section. There's a lot of blowdowns, and then I think the river's low. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how long this is going to take. I hope to do about 20-25 miles, but I don't know, how long it's going to take to get through this portion. And then also got a little bit of a late start, and then was talking with a gentleman at the landing there, so we were chatting for a bit. And then the daylight, sun's gonna set just after 6, so might be a little push for time, but we'll hopefully we'll manage. We got a little bit of a tree coming up here. I have to get out. I really don't want to get out in line because it is so cold, but that current right there is going to push right into that tree, so we're probably going to go to the right here, and hopefully we can get through without having to get my feet wet so early in the morning. Scrub, not too bad. Yep, we gotta line it. First thing. I really need that sun to go ahead and get on up over the ridge there. Not too bad. Go ahead and take this phone and put it in the bag before I get it doused in the water. Just a gorgeous stretch of river so far. Beautiful drive in. Leaves are changing. Seeing a lot of fish. Trout's popping the water quite a bit. Oh, there's a ton of fish. Water is really shallow. Probably gonna scrub here. Definitely low. So the way this channel is and how narrow it is, I'm kind of thankful that it's low, because there's quite a bit of blowdowns and root wise that are like right in the channel. So I feel like if it wasn't as low as it is, I'd be doing a lot more lining, because I think if the water was any more strong, there is no way I'd be able to avoid some of those root wides. I may have to switch out to my backup paddle, because I think I'm chewing this one up with these rocks because the water's so shallow. Almost need a pole to just pull the canoe down. And it's so shallow, you can't really do any good corrective strokes. It's like 3 inches of water here. Some narrow little channel up here. I may have to line again. Kind of reminds me of Perdido River and how windy it was and narrow and trees everywhere. Let's see if I can get past this one here. Yeah, let's get out on this one. That's pushing right into that root wad. I don't like the way that looks. Try to get a little closer to shore. I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, but that channel is pushing right into that root wad. And I don't got much space to work with, so I don't know that I can take it past that. rocks in the sandal. I really need to get me some good river shoes, because what I run into are these sandals on multi-day trips. They're great for day trips, but on multiple days, feet being wet, sand getting in them, they start rubbing my feet. It's pretty raw. But hopefully if I'm changing them out at camp, it won't be so bad. Yeah, you get a canoe broadside on one of those and tip it upstream, it's gonna have a challenge getting it undone. There's a deer, there's a buck. Trying to get my camera out. Right into the sun. Just put back in at the low bridge at Cedar Grove. Had a couple guys there help me get my gear over the bridge, so that was pretty quick and painless. Just had some lunch there, and man, it's been a great trip so far. Today has been awesome. The water has been low on the upper section, which we knew. Saw 2 deer on the river. The second one I didn't get on camera at all. The first one, the sun was shining directly into the camera, so I don't know if it picked it up or not, but we're a little bit behind schedule. I'm thinking maybe, not sure how far we'll get today. It's 1 o'clock now. I'd like to set up camp by 5, so I've probably got about 4 hours of paddling. So maybe between Acres and Pull Tight, I think I'm saying that right. So maybe we can make it somewhere around there. That would be 18, 20 miles. Something like that, so we'll see. The river should have a little more water in it the further down I go. It's supposed to have a lot of springs that feed this river, so it'd keep the flow up, but the upper section is very subject to rainfalls. we'll see what the river has in store. Should be coming up on Welch Springs soon. There's supposed to be an old hospital there that's abandoned there. It's abandoned now, so hoping to maybe we can go in and see it. Just want to make sure I don't pass it. It should be coming up soon. Got a pretty big headwind today, most of the day, so it's like right into, you may can hear it on the camera. Needless to say, it's been a slow day with all the lining and the headwind. Oh wow, that is awesome. There's so many of these things up in this area. Like, this is a small one compared to some of the other ones. Look at that. It's like a river just coming out of the ground. There's the cave. It's super cool. That was really cool getting to see that. Interesting to see the history there of, you know, it used to be a hospital for people with lung diseases, asthma, and they believed that breathing in the cave air would help treat or heal that. So that was super cool. I'm really hoping that since that spring is feeding the current river, that our water levels will pick up from here on out, because there's several more springs along the way that feed this river. So hopefully we're done with all the lining and canoe hiking. It's been a good trip though, regardless. You know, even despite it being slow, the river is beautiful. Just being out here with solitude, it's been incredible. Still can't get my paddle very deep in the water. There we go. Got some water. Yeah, coming down from Baptist, man, it was like, if you want to get away, you gotta get out of the boat and wall around in the ground. Maybe you can get a little splash of water on you. Well, we're right at the 20-mile mark. So I'm gonna camp on this gravel bar here. And so despite the slowdowns today with all the having the line and all that different stuff and the low water levels, still got 20 miles in. So maybe tomorrow and get up a little earlier, get a little more in, try to make up for some I didn't get in today. We've only got about a little over an hour till the sunset, so I need to get camp set up, get some food cooking, and get some rest for tomorrow. Catch you in the morning. All right, guys, I got something I want to share with you. I'm very reluctant to share this news with you because I better not tell you, because I'll probably lose some subscribers. Whatever. Look, I feel like this is as big as when everyone found out that Bear Grylls had a camera crew and took food with him and wasn't actually doing the survival stuff. So, look, you see these sleeping pads? And I'm a bigger guy, so I buy a bigger sleeping pad. And these things take a lot of air to blow up. So, look, don't hit the unsubscribe button. But check this out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Watch this. Look, you're going to be sold once you see this. Now check this out. Isn't that so much better? Well, I'm kicking off day 2, and it was quite a chilly night. It was super cold last night. I had got up this morning, had frost all over everything. So I didn't get up as early as I had anticipated to get started because I wasn't super motivated to get up and out in the cold. But it was pretty cool this morning. I was eating breakfast at my tent, and I had a family of otters come swimming downriver, and stopped and hung out on the bank for a second. I guess they were just curious as to what I was doing. They were just all on the other side checking me out, and then they swam off. But wow, look at this fog this morning. It's just beautiful. So I just passed this cave. I'm gonna try to see if we can't go up and check it out. That is so cool. Just paddling. This is wild. That was insane. I've never been in anything like that. It's super cool. This is what I try to tell people. Like, there's so much when you get out here in the wilderness, whether it's, you know, hiking, backpacking, paddling a river, there's just so much that you get to see. And it's like, I mean, yeah, there's times where canoeing or hiking, like, it's uncomfortable. And that's just part of it. I mean, like, sometimes it rains, sometimes it's freezing cold. You know, sometimes it's just never-ending climbing, or you got a bad headwind on a canoe trip, or you're lining a bunch because the water's too low. But then you get moments like that, or you get moments where the deer walks out in front of you and stares at you in the middle of a river, or you get the bald eagle that soars right overhead. And those moments just make it all worth it. And then just the solitude, just being out here. You can hear the birds. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'm sure if you've ever been out for any amount of time, you can understand what I'm referring to. But when I come out to places like this, I feel like a kid, just in awe of it all. This water's just emerald green color, and you see straight to the bottom. Schools of brown trout swimming by. Certainly beats the hustle and bustle of the city. So this is the kind of stuff you gotta line around. That current, I don't know if you can see it, but it is pushing right into a tree that's in the water. And like it's moving pretty quick, so I'm gonna line around it on this gravel bar over here. But that's what I'm talking about. So like you can get pushed up against that in that current and then capsize and your boat fills with water. And if there's a lot of water, you know, there's risk of it pinning you or pinning your boat, and obviously that's not good either. So let's line around. It's easy to get complacent, and you know, nobody wants to have to get out behind their canoe, and you know, when it looks like you might just could squirt by, but it's pushing pretty hard directly into the bank there. And earlier I got a little lazy and didn't want to line the canoe, and I didn't have the camera rolling, but it was quite funny. I had to jump out of the boat and I got all wet, and thankfully I didn't go into the root wide there, but it's better just to get out and take a couple minutes, just go ahead and go around it. So earlier we were talking about river hazards and, you know, strainers and just log jams and that sort of thing. So it reminds me of a story when I was a teenager, and you've probably heard that boys' brains don't fully develop until, I don't know, in their early 20s or anyways, later in life. But so I had just gotten a new canoe. It was like a cheap Pelican canoe, and me and a buddy of mine was going to go paddle the Flint River in North Alabama, and we'd had the trip planned for a while, and I go up there, and well, it come a big downpour before I got there, and it like really rained and flooded the river. So we go out there, and we're there at the launch. The river is flooded out of the banks. It's like that chocolate, they're chocolate colored like water. There's logs floating by. It's nighttime, so we're seriously considering continuing on with the trip. Like, zero forethought of the hazards. Like, it was just, okay, well, I mean, it's an inconvenience, but we're still going to do it. And then my buddy brought up, he's like, well, you know, if we flip, which obviously would have been inevitable, if we flip, you may not get your boat back. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It's my first time taking this thing out. I probably, that wouldn't be good. So looking back now that I'm older, and especially now that I know the hazards of the rivers, you know, with strainers, and just how the sheer volume of water and how powerful that would have been, we would have definitely lost more than our boat. Well, we just hit mile marker 45, officially halfway done with the trip. So it was a 25-mile day. Those 25 miles did not come easy. I had to work very hard for those. I had a headwind most of the day, which is really slowing me down. But we pushed through it. Luckily, it died off that last hour or so, last 2 hours. So I was able to crank out some miles, kind of make up for some lost time. So we hit our goal. It's been a good day. Saw some more wildlife, walked up or paddled up on a deer. Again, just maybe 30 minutes or so ago. So just unbelievable at the amount of wildlife out here. But I'm gonna look for somewhere to settle down for the night and eat some good grub and get some rest. What a day, what a day. Look, I know that you were super disappointed with me last night when I showed you I had an air pad or an air pump for my air pad, but unfortunately it gets much worse. I also have an instant tip and an instant fire. You guys will have to pardon me and my cheesy jokes, but when you're out here by yourself, you got to find some kind of way to entertain yourself. I want you guys to just check out this view of where I'm camping at. It is just absolutely stunning. Look at the colors. It's just a gorgeous river. Unbelievable amount of wildlife I've seen today. Emerald blue, emerald green water. It's just incredible. Got a nice fire going. Man, this is living life right here. crackling fire, a flowing river, and a grateful heart. I'm blessed beyond measure to be here, to experience the beauty of God's creation. With each passing moment, I'm reminded of Romans 1:20. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world and the things that have been made. I enjoy getting up early while on the river. There's often a surreal atmosphere in the morning, a stillness that isn't often found at other times of the day. However, finding the motivation to get out of the warm tent and into those moments can be really challenging. A fire and a fresh cup of hot coffee should do the trick. Looks like it's going to be a pretty sunrise. Well, this morning marks my third day on the river. It wasn't as cold this morning when I got, still very cold, but there was no frost on any of my gear. So it was a little bit warmer this morning, so that was nice. Seems to be a lot better flow. So that's hopeful, and I've seen 2 flat bottom boats. So I'm imagining if they're getting up, I shouldn't have to line my canoe anymore. So that's a good sign. Super excited about today. I think we've got Blue Spring coming up, so super excited to see that. We've got where the Jacks Fork River meets with the Current River, so we'll come up on, they call that area 2 rivers. So yeah, should be a pretty cool day. Just super happy to be out here, super blessed. The weather's been amazing. The fall colors are just beautiful. The river's just been awesome. I love early morning paddles when the fog is just kind of coming off the river. It's just incredible. Sitting here thinking how the same thing that can be a blessing can be a curse. The sun is up above the trees, and it did noticeably get warmer, but now there is a glare off the top of the water, so I'm having a hard time seeing ahead for route wise down trees and the best channel to miss those gravel bars. The problem is that same channel that's better for me is where those trees tend to clog up. Right there, snuck up on me. That's what I'm talking about, just like that. Whew. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I didn't get completely wet, just my left foot got a little wet. Wow. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that could have easily been avoided. Just couldn't see. When you get hung up like that, the current wants to turn the top of your canoe into the flow. And if that gunnel gets below that water, it's going to fill up and you're going to have a mess. See, in hindsight, looking back, if I could have seen going river left, would have been a better option. But hey, we made it through, mostly dry. Got the heart rate up a little bit. Good to go. So I believe just around the bend here is what's called Two Rivers. It's the confluence where Jack's Fork River flows into the current. And there's supposed to be, I think there's a campground here. So I'm gonna stop, check it out first of all, and then I'm also gonna offload some trash and see if I can't layer down a little bit. So at camp tonight I'll have some dry clothes and some semi-clean, I say clean loosely, clean clothes to sleep in. So there she is, the Jack's Fork River. I'm hoping maybe this spring come back and float it. It is heavily dependent on rainfall. She's looking a little dry, but she's heavily dependent on rainfall. So hopefully this spring I can time it just right and come up here and float it. I believe it's a little over 40 miles, 41 miles, something like that. I just put back in at Two Rivers. That took a lot more time than I anticipated. The main bathhouse was closed for the season, so then I went on a hunt for the alternate bathrooms. But anyways, about 7 miles or so is going to be Blue Springs. So I hear they are gorgeous springs, very like dark colored blue from the pictures and stuff I've seen. So looking forward to seeing that. We just left Blue Spring. It said it flows 87 million gallons of water per day. 87 million. So to put that in perspective, Big Springs, which is where I should be at tomorrow, where I'll take out at, is 268 million. 260 something million gallons per day. That is just unfathomable. There's where Blue Springs flows into the current. Miles flew by today, and I clocked in at 28 miles. The improved water levels made for a much more pleasant paddle. I stumbled upon a perfect campsite with a plethora of driftwood, perfect for a sustainable fire. As I sit here warming myself by the fire, I reflect on my childhood dreams of exploring distant rivers and untamed wilderness. Now, as an adult, I'm living that dream, one paddle stroke at a time. Well, it's my final day on the river, so I think I'll have a second cup of coffee. Maybe that's because I'm sad it's my last day on the river, or maybe I'm excited that I'm getting to go home and see my wife and son. But either way, as my wife would say, coffee makes everything better. So whether I'm sad or whether I'm celebrating, coffee is always a good solution. I guess I have mixed emotions. It's always, when you're out here like this, you get to missing home and missing the things that are important. But it is also, there's just something about being out here, the solitude of it all, just the wonder of the river and just the wilderness. So we've got Big Springs coming up. That's where I'll be taking out today. I'm told it's something to see. 280 something million gallons daily flows from that spring. So that's pretty incredible. I've got about 16 miles left. I ended up paddling 28 yesterday, so about 16 miles roughly to the takeout. So it shouldn't be a long day. I anticipate, to be done right after lunch or early afternoon. Here we go. I've been seeing them all down the river, but I've never been able to get them on film. So I stopped here at the Ozarks National Scenic Rivers headquarters, and I was sitting here thinking while I was eating my lunch, one of the great things about being an adult is you can have a bowl of cereal anytime you want. Honey bunches of oats with almonds. It's the only way to go. Looks like we're going to have to line this. Figure out what's going on here. Cut to the left. Trees and root rods. This close to the end, that'd be my luck. Ooh, I should have paddled further up before I got out. Thought it was shallower. We're committed now. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that deep and forceful there. I should have went up and around. Almost there. All right. Well, that's moving quick. Definitely not worth risking paddling through.
Yeah, you can see all that stuff over there. It's got sucked into it. All up in there. That's where it draws everything. Yeah, I'm good. You see stuff all tangled up in there. Bad news. So here is where Big Spring flows into, and I was under the impression there was going to be a takeout right here. Looks like I got to paddle up into it. Okay. I was looking at this bluff downstream from it, and I was like, well, this is going to be quite the adventure, because I did not know where I was going to go. But I do got to paddle upstream, so this should be fine. Let me get over here out of this current. Come on. Come on. There's still a current. So FYI, there is further upstream before you get to right here where Blue Spring flows out. I'm sorry, Big Spring, where Big Spring flows out. You can take out there, and I believe it's actually closer to the source of the spring. I didn't realize that until. Oh, come on. Let's get this side. That's a lot of water. It's crazy to think all of that is 100% spring fed. Big Springs. All right, moving good. Oh. Really don't want to step in all that. It's gonna be slicker than snot. That takeout upstream is where you should probably definitely, not probably, you should definitely take out there. Where I took out, I'm having to hike to the spring because it flows for quite a ways before it actually flows into the current. It's part of the adventure, right?
4 days and 90 miles later, my journey comes to a close. Reflecting on this trip, I am overwhelmed with gratitude. I'm blessed with good health and the ability to pursue such adventures and the support of my family. I'm also thankful for lifelong friends like Andrew, whom I've known since I was 8 years old. His kindness in providing a shuttle and the hospitality of his wife allowing me to rest in their home before I return home. While I may not have much in monetary things, I am rich in the things that truly matter. Thank you, God.